So I'm really honored to be here. It's always a wonderful thing. I appreciate so much the energy that goes into creating this and to all of you getting here. And I'm really glad to have this time because I have something that I think is very, very important for you today. And I hope I can do justice to it in the time that I have. We are in an incredible and challenging time right now on Earth. We have been in the patriarchal realm, you might say, for some say 6,000 years, some say 20 or 30,000. And basically, it seems that that masculine, which is so lovely, so giving, so providing, so protective, so caring, that masculine has degraded in many ways into destruction and challenge of our planet. I don't have to outline for you all the things that are going on that are wrong, that are challenging, that are, I feel like we're pushing ourselves right against the edge of eliminating ourselves as a human family from this earth. And so we have been left with a bit of a mess. And in around 1993, the elders in America, the Hopi elders, the elders from South America, elders from primary traditions all over the world, had gatherings where they handed the wands of power to the grandmothers. They said, now is the time of the feminine. It is your time. It's too bad we got handed a time with such a mess. It would have been a lot more fun if it were not this. But in fact, we have been given that, and I believe we have the power to make the difference. We're in this very interesting time because the rising of the feminine. Well, let me just say that when some of the political situations came down, the elections turned out like they did in America, and some of the things that happened here in the UK, things happening all around the earth, and seeing the anger and meanness and racism and all of these kind of things come up, it just kind of broke my heart because I've lived my whole life knowing that there was this golden time coming, this beautiful, beautiful time, and actually hoped that I would live to be a part of it. But when all of this came up, it was just shocking and devastating for me, as it was for many people who are conscious and awake and caring. And the thing that has made a difference to me is my teacher saying to me, this is all meant to be, because as this great rising feminine, I think of her like the Venus of Willendorf, this lusty, big-breasted, round, rich, wonderful feminine energy. I always see her as a bit red, coming up from the earth where she has been both resting and suppressed. As she arises and comes up from the earth, she brings up above her and pushes up all the negativity, the darkness, the things that don't work. Because what's going on right now is that we need to face, we need to look right in the eyes and see that negativity and that darkness, and we need to clear it. We can't bury it. We can't put it down. We can't leave it underneath. We can't have this golden, wonderful time with all of this yuck underneath. We need to clear that. So we're in a time when we need to do that. And I often say to women in my workshops as I'm working with empowering women, you probably take a little time to take care of yourself, right? I mean, maybe you get a little exercise and try to eat well and do all of that. You have relationships. Maybe you have a primary relationship. You have other relationships. Those take some time. A lot of you have children. They take a little bit of time, don't they? You have your home to take care of. All of that. You're the primary one. And then you, very likely, have a job. You have a part-time job or a full-time job outside your home. So you've got those things to handle and take care of. So I have sort of good news and challenging news, because the other thing you need to do right now, you need to save the earth. And what I want to give you today is something that I think can make all the difference in that. I think it can make it smoother, easier, faster, more magical. And we need all the help we can get. Because one of the things we know from studies that have been conducted in the sort of the more modern world, you know, probably America and England and all over, is that men's stress in the last 50 to 60 years has gone up by 10%. Guess how much women's stress has gone up? The study shows that women's stress has gone up 100%. And stress is the killer. When we are so stressed that we can't handle anything, we blow out wherever we blow out. And we're blowing out in cancer and many other kinds of challenges. Women are under enormous stress right now. So we need something to handle the stress, to give us the kind of power and energy we need to move forward in this incredible, incredible challenge and job that we have been given. So I want to talk about that. And I'm going to ask you some questions. I have a whole long list here that I've written down. And I want you just to close your eyes, if you will, because I want to talk about the moon. Grandmother Moon and the great, 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 great mother that has birthed us all have magic and power for us that I don't think we have tapped. And I want to talk to you about that moon, that bleeding, that menstrual time, that moon time, all of that. I want to talk to you about that, and I want to ask you some questions. So just think about this. I know you like and are fascinated by and celebrate the moon, but have you let it teach you how to be the most powerful woman ever? Have you opened your eyes in the full, beautiful clarity of the moon every night so that she influences your eyes and your cycles? Have you realized that she shows us how to move through the cycles of our life? When we bleed, when we're active, when we rest, when we rejuvenate, when we speak, when we offer ourselves. Do you know that she offers you that? Do you keep your precious blood? Or do you flush it away and dispose of it? Do you know the power and benefits of your blood? Do you realize that that absolutely sacred and magical fluid has enormous minerals, energy, power, nourishment in it? That blood has made the place where new life can be formed. It's rich and good and powerful and nourishing. And we've been told something else. So do you know that plants love it? You put it on your plants, woo-hoo, wonderful, they love it. Have you run through the fields in the springtime on your moon, naked, spreading that blood across the land, giving it back to the land to nourish the land? Have you given that sacred blood away in that way? Do you realize that you can put that blood on the four corners of your home or the four corners of your land and say a prayer and say, this land is protected by the goddess. Every bit of life on it is protected by the goddess. I hope you do that. Have you coagulated your blood? Have you made it into a salve that magically heals wounds and skin conditions? Have you honored it? Have you loved it in that way? Have you been daring enough to taste your own blood? Are you daring enough to let go of all of that negative programming about your blood? That it's dirty, that it's something bad, something awful. Are you willing to awaken and change that? Are you willing to be proud and joyful in your moontime? I'm going to read, I think this is a good time to read a poem. I hope I can see it here. In my book, I have a chapter on all the moontime and women's mysteries, and I just loved including this poem. It's a poem by Marge Piercy. It's called Tampons. My periods have changed. It is years since I have swallowed pink and gray Darvons, round chalky Midols from the bottle with the smiling girl. Now I plan a quiet space, protect myself those first few days when my uterus lets go and I am an open anemone. I know when my blood flow will come. I watch my mucus pace changes like a dancer, follow the fall and rise of my body heat. All this, and yet I never questioned them, those slim, white handies. It took me years to learn to use them, starting with Percets and a jar of Vaseline. I didn't know where the hole was. I didn't even know enough to find one. I pushed until only a little stuck out and hoped that was far enough. I tried every month through high school. And now that I can change it in a moving car, like Audrey Hepburn changing dresses in the taxi in the last scene of Breakfast at Tiffany's, I've got to give them up. Tampons, I read, are bleached, are chemically treated to compress better. They contain asbestos. Good old asbestos. Once we learned not to shake it, Johnson & Johnson's, on our babies or diaphragms, we thought we had it licked. So what do we do now? They're universal. Even macrobiotics and lesbian separatists are hooked on them. Go back to sanitary napkins? Junior high, double napkins on heavy days, walking home, damp underpants, chafing thighs. It's been a full 12 years since I wore one, since Spain when Marjorie pierced my ears and I unloaded half a suitcase of big gauze pads in the hotel trash. Someone in my workshop suggested tassaways, little cups that catch the flow. They've stopped making them, we're told. Women found they could reuse them and the company couldn't make enough money that way. Besides, the suction pulled the cervix out of shape. Then diaphragms, it presses on me, one woman says, so swollen these days, too tender. Menstrual extraction, a young woman says, I heard about that, 10 minutes and it's done. But I do not trust putting tubes into my uterus each month. We're told everything is safe in the beginning. I'm going to skip on here. She says, we will ease together into rhythm. It happens when women live closely. African tribes, college students, our blood flowing on the same days. On the first day of our heaviest flow, we will gather in Palmer, Massachusetts, on the steps of Tampax Incorporated. We'll have a bleed-in. We'll smear blood on our faces. Max Factor will join OB in bankruptcy. The perfume industry will collapse. Who needs whale sperm, turtle oil, when we have free blood? For a little while, cleansing products will boom, 409, Lysol, Windex, but the executives will give up. The cleaning woman is leaving a red, wet rivulet as she scrubs down the previous stains. It's no use. The men will have to do it themselves, and that will never come up for a vote on the board. Women's clothing manufacturers, fancy furniture, plush carpet, all will phase out. It's just not practical. We will live in the old ways. Dogs will fall in love with us. Swim in the river. Yes, swim in the river. We'll feed the fish with our blood. Our blood will neutralize the chemicals and dissolve the old car parts. Our blood will detoxify the phosphates and the PCBs. Our blood will feed the depleted soils. Our blood will water the dry, tired surface of the earth. We will bleed. We will bleed. We will bleed until we bathe her in our blood and she turns slippery, new, like a baby birthing. Thank you, Marge. So close your eyes and think about this again. What about your first moon, your first blood? Were you, as in Native culture, honored and celebrated? Did everyone want to just touch you because they knew they were so blessed by just touching you? They knew the blessing. You were the statement that life is continuing on earth. Do you honor yourself, your womb, your blood as the big magic in the human form? It's the big, 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 big magic. You have the ability, this space in us, the ability to create life, to bring life through. And that is big magic. Do you honor that? So, do you learn from the moon that when she's full and bright, it's our most young aspect of our feminine? We're out there speaking, offering, we're ovulating, we're expressing, we're connecting, all of those outward kind of things. And as the grandmother moon covers her face and becomes dark, we as well begin to cover our face to quiet ourselves and to go into the darkness. In the dark of the moon is when a natural woman bleeds. If your eyes are in the moonlight and you're triggered by the moon, not just talking about her, not just intellectualizing about her, if you are in contact, your eyes are in contact with the moon, you bleed at the dark of the moon. Every one of you will bleed at the dark of the moon. That's been given you in your body among the other magics you have. So when the Great Mother birthed all of life, in all our understanding, we realized that the beginning, in the beginning, there was darkness. In the beginning, this dark womb of all potentiality. Everything existed there, but nothing had been made real, as we call it in the physical world. It was all potential, all potential. And out into that came light. I think of it as the starry womb of Buffalo Woman. You look up on a dark night, and the stars go forever and ever and ever, all potential, all existing. Everything that ever was, everything that is, and everything that will be lives in the womb that we call Wakan. Wakan, the beginning of everything. And that light shining came, and then all things manifested from that. Skan, the masculine, like lightning, touching one of those stars and bringing it down to earth and making it real. So, touching into that great womb, we create whatever we wish to bring forth. So, do you honor yourself with days of rest and rejuvenation and visioning? Do you have a community moon lodge? Have you gathered together to make a place where you can go and rest? Do you know how vital it is for you to do that? It's been hard for me over my lifetime to find women who knew the really deep mysteries that I want to share with you. But the ones who do say that we are damaging ourselves irreparably by not taking time every month during our moon time to quiet and rejuvenate ourselves. It's the healthiest, most wonderful thing you can do for yourself. Your body demands it. PMS comes around when that moon comes around and it's getting darker and closer to your bleeding time. When you don't start resting, what do? You get bitchy. So have you taught your family? Have you taught the men in your life? Have you taught the children in your life that for 4 or 5 days they get to nurture you, they get to take care of you, they get to give you slack, you get to rest, they get to give you the care that you give them the whole rest of the month? Have you taught them that? Do you take that time? Have you set your life up that way? Are you taking care of yourself in that way? Are you honoring yourself that way? Are you joining together with women in that time? Because when women come together, we work together, we spend time together, we create oxytocin. There must be big amounts of it right here, right now. And that oxytocin is what supports your life and makes you feel supported, feel nurtured, feel good. It also de-stresses you. And that de-stressing, clearing stress from your system is absolutely vital for you. You absolutely need to do that. So are you taking that time? Are you going deep? Are you taking the time to go deep into the womb of the Great Mother, into total silence, quietness, restfulness? Renewing your health and your energy. Do you know that part of that process is calling vision for your people? It's the piece that's left out of most moon teachings that I know, and it's the one that's the most important that I want to speak to you about today. Do you know that a part of that process is about calling vision? Because the veil is thinnest between the human form and the great mystery, the Great Mother. The veil that separates us and our consciousness is the thinnest in a moon woman bleeding at the dark of the moon, sitting in quiet and meditation. And that incredible gift has with it a responsibility to use that to call vision for the people. In our way, when you go into the Moon Lodge and do your prayer and your calling, your questing, all of that, you always do it for all the people, not for yourself in those few days. You call vision for the people. You say, great goddess, great mother, great birther of all life, what do you have that I can bring through that serves all the people, that serves all my relations? And you will bring through amazing things to offer into your world. Do you realize in the moon temples the wonderful things that Katinka was showing us and others have shown us? Do you realize that's the work they were doing? That incredibly empowered work? So, it's wonderful for us to put on our beautiful dresses. I have my special Johnny Waz shirt on today, and we put on our moon tiaras, and we dance and all of that. That's that celebration, that honoring, that wonderful energy we have. But that's only the second part of what we do. The first part is in the dark of the moon when we go into the depth of visioning and call forth, we create from nothing a life of beauty for our people. And that power is so required right now. So when you honor yourself with those days of moontime, one, you absolutely make a difference in your health. Nothing can do more. Every month, every month, every month. Women work pretty much 24/7. We multitask in the middle of all of that. There's really no time off, especially if you have children, up at night, early morning, laundry, working all day, on and on and on. There's not any time off. And so Creator set it up so that you have time off to rejuvenate, to renew yourself, to be nurtured, to be taken care of, to take care of yourself. And you also have the time to bring through the vision for your people. I used to get in trouble in California in the old days. It was a time when the feminists were rising and female power, people were talking about we need to have our power back. And I used to say to them, you can't put in a Tampax, put on a pair of pants, go out and act like a man and think that's women's power. It's not. It's not. So why don't we know this? Why aren't we practice this? Why don't you have 4 days off a month? Because we have lived in a patriarchal system that's about push, shove, work, make things happen, do, be productive, force, push, get out there and work. And you're not valuable unless you do. And so in this new time of the feminine, we're going to change that around. Because one of the things they're showing in studies, and someone mentioned this, I would love if you tell me the study you saw. The studies are showing that if women there are some places where they do give a day off for the beginning of the moontime. And they're showing that any work that was lost during that week has been made up well over by the fact that women are happier, healthier, more creative, more nurtured and alive and vital when they come back to work. So we need to do those studies. We need to take that time. We need to do those studies and begin to claim that. And the interesting thing is that we women, I believe in most countries and most places, women are the majority. I know in America there are more women than men. So whatever we decide, whatever we vote in the political booths, whatever we vote with our dollars, whatever we do, we have control if we choose to take it. We can choose what we want. And the nurturing, the power of the feminine is the nurturing and renewing of life. The nurturing and renewing of life. And that's what we can step forward with. What's going to be enormously powerful is instead of, as we did in America and around the world, around the presidential election, there was this incredible march in Washington and around the world. It was a protest march. It was peaceful and wonderful. It was just magical. It was great. But what I suggest is that we have a bleed-in, that we sit for 4 days in prayer and quietness. And when we come out of that 4 days, we commit to not doing anything that isn't about nurturing and renewing life. And we support only those people and those things that do that. So, have you ever said at work, I just mooned out, I'm going home, I'm taking a health day, see you later? We will be doing that. It's going to be interesting because as we get back in tune with the moon, we're all going to be going home. But one of the things I think that's wonderful, I think they'll figure out how valuable we are when that happens. So one of the things that if we take that 4 days off and all women sit down and quiet themselves all around the world, then it's going to be really clear the value and power that we have. So I want to quickly take you through the moon cycle and talk a bit about the old ways of doing this. So full moon, bright moon, active, busy, starting to quiet ourselves. As the moon covers her face, we as well begin to quiet, taking a little more time to ourselves, take a nice hot bath, nurture ourselves, go to bed earlier, and then comes that 4 days that we take off and go into our moon lodges. If we're all having our eyes in the moon, we're going to be in the moon lodge at the same time. That moon lodge is a sweet and beautiful and loving place of furs and blankets and pillows. We come in for the first 2 days And it's literally about rest. We've been hanging out and talking. We probably don't even talk to each other that much. It's not like it's against the rules. It's like, who needs it? We just start quieting down and napping and resting. The grandmothers who spend time in that moon lodge whenever they choose probably have little wonderful goodies and things that nourish our blood, and they take care of us and be sweet to us. And so we have 2 days to just simply rest and de-stress. 2 full 24-hour days just to be, to not do anything. The deep feminine, to not do anything. Buffalo woman in the north, sitting by her wisdom lake in the deep dark of winter, in the midnight, doing nothing, touching in to the heart of the Great Mother. Then 2 more days, 2 more days. And I believe that those days, perhaps women went into an inner sanctum, or maybe they just kind of rearranged their space, hopefully around space, and they went into meditation. They sat in deep meditation for 2 more days. They touched into the deep feminine. No matter, never mind, no thing. Only the rich, nurturing, warm, dark womb. Great Mother of all life, take me to that place within your dark womb where I can know no thing and be reborn anew. Where we can release and clear and open ourselves to receive the messages that come from the Great Mother, from life itself, from the great birther of life. The inventions, the discoveries, a new way to weave, a new way to hold water without having plastic, a new way to walk in the world, a new way to do relationships, to heal trauma, to do business. Every and anything is possible. Everything is there. Everything is there. So gathering that vision, inviting that, saying, what can I bring forward? If you're a basket maker, maybe there's a new way of making a basket. If you're an executive, a new way of putting things together that works to serve the people who work with you, to serve the world, all of these things. Any and everything comes through that time. So sitting in that deep meditation then is the richest, most powerful, most positive thing you can do for your world. Does that make sense to you? Yes. That's the feminine. That's feminine power. It's not doing. It's opening to the great voices of harmony and wholeness and holiness that guide us forward. And it's giving us power, it's giving us energy, and it's giving us power. And power is not force. Power is stepping in the great circle of harmony that moves everything, that moves the stars, that moves everything. We step into that circle, we step into that power, and we have some power to change things. And I think that as we do this, as we find our way, hopefully in not many years we have this happening. As we find that, I believe we will begin to change the world very, 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 very quickly. If we don't, if we decide to kind of push and shove and try to make it happen and get funding for our nonprofit or whatever we're doing, if we try to do things in the old way, I think it's going to take a long time, and we don't have a long time. We are pushing the edges of things right now. We need to change things around. The love, the nurturing, the caring. I asked Buffalo Woman one time, I said, when is this new age coming? And she said, anytime you are cooperating, sharing, caring, kind, loving, unifying, embracing, Anytime you are doing those things and being those things, you are in the new time. And she said, anything else is passing, and you will pass with it if that's the kind of energy you carry. So step into that beautiful loving and caring and nurturing and creative, rich opening. The feminine has never been passive and weak. The feminine has been holding that open womb space to receive the riches that are given us. Creator gave us this incredible gift, this time of bleeding. The grandmothers take more time. They spend more time in that moon lodge praying and coming together. The grandmothers teach the children, the young girls. They teach them and bring them forward, ready and excited for their moon blood and to go into the moon lodge with the women and create the world. So all of these things are possible for us. And I think it is so vital that we do that we make this time and make this commitment to ourselves. And the thing is that we weren't given this information. I mean, I had a hard time finding this information, really, because when I went to my native elders to ask them about it, I would say something about the moon or the bleeding time or something, and they go, and what I was seeing was basically the teachings of the Catholic nuns, probably, because that's who raised them. That's where they were taken. They lost so much of this. So as you have received this information, and especially the information about the visioning time, about calling forward vision and serving your people that way, you have that information now. And as many of the gals have been saying, that now we have the responsibility to do that, to use it, to make a difference with it. And here's something exciting. Just think that let's say a girl at 13 has her first moon. Usually men in our tradition, when they come into their puberty, do 4 vision quests to really establish and ground themselves. And that's very powerful. And they go up on the mountain whenever they want to really call vision, but not so much. So the young girl, by the time she's 14, she has vision quested 13 times. By the time she's 14, 15, she's vision quested 26. 16, she's vision quested 39 times. By the time she's 17, she's vision quested 52 times. By the time she's 18, she's vision quested, 4-day vision quest, 65 times, and it goes on from there. What's happening in that kind of a society is you are building priestesses moment to moment, month by month. Can you imagine the depth, the wisdom of a woman who has vision quested hundreds of times, touched the Great Mother and brought forth creation from that hundreds and hundreds of times? That's a wisdom woman. I'm pretty old. I'm older than the hills, sort of. But I don't feel very wise in a way. And when I think of myself in comparison to those women who vision quested hundreds and hundreds of times, deepened themselves into the dark moon and the great goddess, wow, they were something. And we have that capacity, and I believe we are being called to do that. The moon, the Great Mother is saying, women, you have this remarkable capacity. Your feminine power is magical, mystical, mad, wonderful moon energy. You have this within you. So it's really the big magic. You need health and stamina for what you're facing and what you're going to do in changing this world. You're going to gain that enormously from doing this. And you're going to gain the vision that you need from it. So, does that make sense to you? Because I really, 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 really mean it when I say This is the big power we have. This feminine power, this deep, rich, incredible, magical, creative power. We were given the qualities of the great creator, and one of those is to create from nothing. From light and love, we create a world of beauty and wholeness. To really allow ourselves to leave behind all the old thoughts about how things happen and realize that our creative potential in that quiet time is immense, is absolutely immense. We'll create matrifocal societies that are egalitarian, loving, honoring, based in oxytocin, based in caring and nurturing. Men love those societies because we're nurturing and caring. They're not so stressed. They don't have to get out there and push and shove so much. They can enjoy more. Those societies are based, the economies of those societies are based in gifting, of giving away, of nurturing, taking care of, not competition. They're gifting economies where everyone, it's like a good mother. The great mother says, I have this much food, each one of you is going to get a portion. Whether I have a lot and it's a feast, or I don't have so much, each and every one of you will get as much as you can possibly have to make yourself happy, to make yourself healthy, to make yourself feel safe and awake in order to give the incredible gifts that each of you have to give. Those kind of societies are what we will bring forward, and I hope we do it sooner than later. So we have time to sing a song. This song is one that Grandma Twyla Nitsch offered from the Seneca people. It's a round. We'll sing it for a while, and then I'll divide you up, and we'll have that beautiful harmony of a round. There are two words. Nisa means moon, and Gaiweo is greeting. So some of you know this, so just listen for a minute and then sing it with me, and all of you sing it. It's easy to learn, and then we'll do our harmony. Nisa, 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 Gaiweo, Gaiweo, Nisa, 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 Gaiweo, Gaiweo. Once more, Nisa, 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 Gaiweo, Gaiweo. Okay, so over to the first two people in this section. You're going to be the first group. In the middle here is the second group. The last two of you here and over there are going to be the third. All right? All the way down. So we're going to start. This group's going to start, and then you will start, and then you will start, and we'll have beautiful harmony. All right? So, Nisa, 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 Gaiweo, Gaiweo, Nisa, 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 Gaiweo, Gaiweo, Nisa, 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 like that. So I have one more quick thing, and maybe the most important thing. I want you to take a minute and think about this, because I'm serious about it. Those of you who are willing to share this kind of information with 13 other females in your life so that they can know and be informed, and ask them to share this information with 13 other women, who then will ask those women if they would be willing to share this information about the health and the service, the magical quality of the moontime. If they'll share that with 13 more, we can have this viral around the world. So take a moment, and if you're willing, you might not have it all down perfectly, but you get the idea. Also in my book, there are 4 chapters. On my website, you can buy 4 hours of teaching about all of this. If you're willing to share this with 13 other women, I'd like you to stand up and make that commitment. So we're going to spread it far, far, far around the earth. We're going to make such a difference. And the thing is that's so wonderful is that it's so joyful. What we're going to bring is nurturing and renewal and cooperation and love and caring and sweetness and cleansiness and no pollution, fresh water, clear air. What we're bringing is so beautiful, and the mother supports it. And when we find that vision, that dream, that prayer that we have, White Buffalo Woman says to us, rather than just releasing it right here, go out into that starry womb. Go out in as far as you can into my womb, where everything is possible. Every possibility, every potential, everything is there for our creation and birthing of something new, and cast that dream into Buffalo Woman's womb, into the Wakan Great Mother womb, and make it real now and in the future. Ho, Mitakuyasin. Thank you very much. Thank you. Go girls!